My name is Allison Rochelle Bales, and I'm the Administrative Director of Education for Berkshire Theatre Group, and this is Eric Hill, Director of Apprentice Training for Berkshire Theatre Group. And we are going to have a few questions to talk about our summer performance training program. Eric, would you be able to give us an overview of your background in the theater, both academic and professional?
I have a 35-year career in both acting, directing, writing, and teaching. Most of the last 20 years have been spent directing in the professional theater and teaching simultaneously during the winter months. I've been the Director of Performance Studies at both the University of Connecticut and Brandeis University. And during my whole career, I've been an actor as well, and someone who's been able to perform in a wide range of plays over that period of time. And as I said, in recent years, I've focused quite a bit on directing and working in all venues of the BTG, this large theater that we're in right now, and also the theaters, the two theaters that are down at the BTF. And the Children's Theater. I've done musicals with the BTF before we became the BTG, although I've done Tommy, the Who's Tommy, in this building along with Oklahoma. I also did a production of Chorus Line in here. And I've directed many plays down at the BTF through the 20 years that I've been here, so many serious plays, serious dramas in the Unicorn, and a wide range of plays on the main stage. So my career has been varied. I spent a lot of time teaching. And a lot of time teaching young people, college age and graduate level actors, and that's been a primary focus of mine for many years.
As the new director of the program, how do you envision the program for this summer?
Well, we have a long tradition of training interns that goes back to, I would assume, the very beginnings of this theater several decades ago, and we've had some very famous interns and apprentices over the course of our time. And I envision a continuation of that kind of spirit of taking young people, college-age students, and giving them a summer experience, which is something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. It's how they walk out of the program that I'm most concerned with, and how they feel going out. So for me, the purpose of a training program and the purpose of an apprentice program is to allow young college-age students to move to the next level in an intensive summer-focused program, so that they don't have to, worry about the wide range of, college things that they have to do. They can focus on just the thing that they want to work on. And this summer, we are focusing particularly on musicals. We're allowing our students, the 15 that we do take, to perform in some of the musicals that we are doing as part of our regular season. They will be trained in musical theater, dance classes, voice class, singing classes, ample opportunity to perform, not just in the productions that we're doing as part of our regular schedule, but we do a thing called Musical Mondays, where the students perform in selected musicals here in this theater as a way of giving us a kind of showcase look at some musicals we may want to do down the road. They also have some cabaret performances that we'll be giving them, in addition to a wide range of classes that are not just, say, one dance class or one voice class, but in the course of the summer, they will be exposed to all of the professional talent we have coming our way to give workshops in voice, in dance, in acting, in all the variety of skills that you need to be a performer in the theater.
What would you say then would be a typical day, if there is a typical day?
Well, I think that the answer to that question is there is no typical day. And that's probably part of the vision, is that you don't want to have a typical day, although you do want to have some kind of schedule that the students observe. And I would say that we will, begin the day with a warm-up that would last probably about an hour before people split up and go to their various rehearsals, which take place usually during the course of the morning and the afternoon. So that those students who are in a rehearsal period will do rehearsal. Those who are not, again, will be doing some of the classes that we have planned for them, and begin to work on some of the other things that may be going on. So, and then there may be a switch at some point when students are not in a production that is a rehearsal. They may be in performance, and we will reverse that. Some other kids going into rehearsals, and those who are performing will then take classes during the course of the day. There are certain duties that the apprentices have. Sometimes they have to, help us to strike the sets. So sometimes they park cars or work concessions. We keep the students busy from about 9 in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night, 10 or 11 o'clock at night, a full day, so that they're always working on something, they're always meeting people, they're always engaging our professionals, they're always interacting with people from other departments. They're getting to know the full range of what goes on in the theater. So is there an average day or a regular day? Probably not, but there will be some sense of a sense of schedule. But we want to have as diverse and as interesting a program as possible, so the students get a wide range of activities and a wide range of skills.
How will you incorporate the Suzuki method of actor training into the musical theater component?
Well, I don't know how many people know about the Suzuki method of actor training or my particular use of it, but I've developed over the last 30 years some my own sense of what Suzuki's training is. Suzuki is a Japanese director who developed a very powerful physical training method for actors that's based on some kabuki-like elements, mostly to develop the lower body as a way of providing a base for a very powerful voice and powerful diaphragm support. That and focus, concentration, those kinds of things. So what I've done over the years is to take Suzuki's training method, which is very strong, very powerful, very intense, and to adapt it to the needs of an American actor. That is, what are the goals that you want to get out of any kind of training program or training method? And for my purposes, the ability to deliver vocally, more powerfully, more clearly, more precisely, the ability to move with authority and clarity on stage, and most importantly, I think, to be able to focus and to concentrate on the material at hand. That's something that young actors can always use. And so those are the elements of Suzuki's training that I would incorporate.
What types of faculty are you looking at bringing in this summer?
Well, this summer I think we would probably focus on musical theater, since that's the kind of productions we're going to be working on with our apprentices. So I would imagine that we will see a New York level choreographer, somebody who works in the New York theater, to come in, probably do a week workshop. We will have singing teachers who come through as part of our productions, and some of the wonderful people who live in this area, some wonderful opera people and singing people who live in the area because of Tanglewood. We will have acting classes that I will lead, as well as some professionals who come through as part of our program. And in general, they will, I don't want to give away any of the names because we haven't quite gotten that far in our season development, but there will be some very well-known names that the students will be able to see and talk to and interact with and have workshops with. So it will cover a wide gamut.
What do you think is the most valuable thing that a student will take away from an apprenticeship at Berkshire Theatre Group?
The ability to perform, I think, again, at a high level in front of people who are professionals and with people who are professionals. Performance is the whole point, to do any kind of acting or singing, dancing, whatever. You want to get up in front of people and to be able to advance your talent to the next level. And I think that's the goal, for us to get kids on stage, up in front of people, performing, with a set of skills that we have given them to develop and work on in front of an audience.
Excellent. Do apprentices return to BTG
Oh,
after
of course.
they've been an apprentice?
Of course they do. I mean, the goal of having apprentices is not to just sort of move students through our program in the summer, but to identify and to work with students who we feel have real potential to move through to the next level, which is our intern program, who are pre-equity level people who do productions of their own, and then to move to the next level, which is our equity company. We've had several apprentices who have worked their way all the way through our program to end up as very successful and working equity actors.
Thank you so much, Eric, for taking time out to talk a little bit more about your vision for the program. It sounds like it's going to be a really exciting summer for our group of apprentices.
Well, I'm excited too. I'm thrilled, and hopefully we'll find some very talented young people.